They shot the human cadet. 23 seconds later, she walked out covered in his blood. Holding his head, the mining station, Prometheus 7 hung in the void like a metal spider, its arms reaching deep into the asteroid's crystal-rich core. Cadet Elena Cross had been assigned to the night shift in the deepest mining tunnels, where the most valuable Nexus crystals grew in perfect, glowing formations. These crystals powered the life support systems of dozens of human colonies, making them worth more than entire planets. Elena loved the quiet of the deep mines. The soft blue glow of the crystals created a peaceful atmosphere that helped her think clearly. She had joined the Colonial Defense Corps only 6 months ago, straight from the farming colonies of New Terra. Her instructors often said she was too gentle for military life, but Elena believed there was strength in compassion. That belief would be tested tonight. The first sign of trouble came as a distant rumble through the station's hull. Elena's hand moved instinctively to her comm device, but before she could activate it, the lights flickered and died. Emergency power kicked in, bathing everything in red light. The mining station's defense systems had been disabled from the outside. Elena pressed herself against the crystal wall as heavy footsteps echoed through the tunnels. The sound was wrong, too heavy, too sharp. These weren't human boots. Through the crimson darkness, she saw them, Zephyrian raiders, their scaled bodies moving with predatory grace. Their leader, a massive creature with scarred hide and glowing yellow eyes, directed his squad toward the main crystal chamber. She recognized him from intelligence briefings. Commander Vraktar, the most wanted raider in 3 sectors. He specialized in attacking mining operations, stealing crystals to sell on the black market. But this time, he hadn't come just for theft. Elena overheard his plan as he spoke to his squad in broken human standard. Destroy life, support crystals, Vraktar growled. Humans die slow. Station becomes tomb. Fear spreads to other colonies. Elena's heart pounded. Thousands of colonists depended on these crystals for survival. If Vraktar succeeded, entire worlds would lose their life support within days. She had to stop him. But she was just one cadet against a squad of professional killers. Moving carefully through the shadows, Elena tried to reach the emergency communication array. She needed to warn the colony ships to call for help. But as she rounded a corner, she came face to face with Vraktar himself. Little human, he hissed, his plasma rifle already raised. You should not be here. Elena raised her hands, trying to appear harmless. Please, there are innocent people who need those crystals. Children, families dash silence. Vraktar's weapon charged with deadly energy. Humans are weak. You beg like frightened animals. The plasma bolt hit Elena's center mass, sending her flying backward into the crystal chamber. She crashed through the protective barrier and fell 20 feet into the pit, where the largest Nexus crystals grew. The impact should have killed her instantly. Vraktar looked down at her motionless form and laughed. Human dies easy, like crushing insect. But something extraordinary was happening in the crystal pit. Elena's blood had splattered across the ancient Nexus formations, and the crystals began to pulse with new energy. For millions of years, these crystals had waited for the right catalyst, the right combination of organic material and desperate will to survive. Elena's eyes snapped open, but they now glowed with the same blue light as the crystals around her. The plasma burn across her chest was already healing, new tissue growing at an impossible rate. She could feel the crystal's power flowing through her veins, rewriting her DNA, making her something more than human. She stood up slowly, her movements fluid and controlled. The crystals had given her enhanced strength, speed, and healing abilities. But more than that, they had amplified her determination to protect the innocent. Elena was no longer just a cadet. She was humanity's answer to those who preyed on the weak. Vraktar was in the station's command center, setting charges on the main life support hub when Elena found him. He turned at the sound of her footsteps, his eyes widening in disbelief. Impossible, he whispered. You died. I saw you fall. Elena stepped into the light, her wounds completely healed, her eyes blazing with crystal energy. You made one mistake, Vraktar. You assumed humans would stay down when knocked down. The Zephyrian commander fired his weapon repeatedly, but Elena moved with inhuman speed. The plasma bolts passed harmlessly through the air where she had been standing. She closed the distance between them in seconds, her enhanced strength allowing her to tear through his armor like paper. You wanted to show the galaxy that humans are weak, Elena said, her voice carrying the harmonics of crystal energy. Let me show you what happens when you threaten our families. Vraktar's claws scraped uselessly against her crystal-enhanced skin as she lifted him by the throat. With one swift motion, she ended his threat permanently. The ancient crystals had made her stronger, but it was her human heart that gave her the will to use that strength. 23 seconds after entering the command center, Elena emerged carrying Vraktar's severed head. The remaining raiders fled in terror when they saw their mighty commander reduced to a trophy. Word would spread quickly through the criminal underworld. The humans had evolved beyond their expectations. When the rescue ships arrived, they found Elena standing in the crystal chamber, her uniform stained with alien blood, holding the proof of her victory. The station's life support systems hummed peacefully, the threat eliminated. How? Asked the rescue commander, staring at the head in her hands. Elena looked at the crystals that had saved her life and given her the power to save others. We adapt, she said simply. It's what humans do best. The Zephyrian raiders had learned too late that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their technology or weapons. It was in their refusal to surrender, their ability to find hope in the darkest moments, and their willingness to become whatever was necessary to protect those they loved. 23 seconds. That's all it took for Elena Cross to prove that underestimating human determination was the last mistake Vraktar would ever make.